guys that don't know, I'm going to briefly tell you guys what I've been going through. On the 14th of July, I had surgery on my jaw, of all things. And I had a tumor, a benign tumor, but a tumor in here, right? So I'm not quite 3 weeks out of surgery yet. So I've had people literally all over the world praying for me, all over this country, friends in South America, Central America, Africa, Indonesia, India, Europe, Middle East, China, Australia, and I've had the folks from Hillsong praying for me. I mean, you know, I know all those guys, right? Because from ministry, our ministry in Orlando, and I know all these guys, and they've been praying for me, and I didn't get healed. I didn't get healed. And I've seen some stuff. I've seen some miracles. I've prayed for folks. Eyes were completely clouded over. Couldn't even see them. And I prayed for them instantly. Their eyes were crystal clear and could see for the first time in their life. Seen stuff. I could go on and on. I didn't get healed. And in fact, my 1.5 to 2 hour surgery ended up being 4.5 hours. It was a worst case scenario. It was worse than anything that they thought or imagined. And of course, we were believing and praying and proclaiming that they were going to open me up and nothing was going to be there. They ended up cutting me from here all the way down to here, all the way back up. I lost 5 teeth. And they had to remove a nerve, and now the doctors say that I am permanently numb for the rest of my life here in this area. I can't feel a thing. I didn't get healed. I remember waking up in recovery. And I hate recovery rooms. You're so disoriented. It's dark usually. And the nurse is never there. So you wake up and you're like, okay, what happened to me? You know? So I woke up in recovery. And I had this mouthful of galls, right? Stopped bleeding. You know, I'm sure I was a son. The nurse finally realized I was awake. She came to me and she was talking to me. And I was trying to talk to her, but I couldn't. And she took the galls out, cleaned me out, and was going to replace it because I was still bleeding pretty bad. And I was able to get out. What did they do? Because at this point, I didn't know how long I'd been in surgery. I mean, you know, they put you out, you're out, right? You don't know anything. So I was thinking, I'm waiting for the praise report. I'm waiting, she's going to, I don't know, that was, you know, nothing was there. She said, sweetie, it was bad. It was bad. But you're okay. You're fine. And I moved my tongue and I felt it. Nothing was here anymore. And me being the good sweetheart I am, I didn't cry. I was crying on the inside. But I was sucking it up. But I immediately began crying out to God. Why? Why? Why am I having to go through this? Doctors came and saw me. They finally let Christy come see me. I was in recovery. Oh my gosh. Hours and hours and hours before they moved me to a room. And I began this mental journey of why I didn't get healed. Why this was worst case scenario. If you would, I've got several scriptures here. And I know I'm so pushed for time that I'm just going to get through it. And I love you guys. If I go long and you have to leave, leave. I love you. See you next week. Call me if you need me. But I'm going to get through this today. I'm going to get through it. I don't care how long it takes. Okay? Turn to Philippians, please. Philippians chapter 1. So I was asking the Lord, why do I have to go through this? Why did I get healed? And I began to go to that place that we all go to when a prayer don't get answered the way we think it ought to get answered. And sometimes it seems like our prayer didn't get answered at all. But I'm here to tell you, my prayer got answered in such a way that I am now completely grateful, thankful, wrecked over it, and don't want it to go away. I'm in a place right now that I'm just so humbled by the honor that's been bestowed upon me. But I started going to that place that we all go to. Well, Lord, did I not pray right? Lord, is something wrong with me? Lord, do you not love me enough? Is something wrong? Do I have sin in my life? The whole religion thing starts coming back, right? Do I have sin in my life? Well, when I'm washed by the blood, I don't have sin in my life. But my mind started going back to all these things. Philippians 1, verse 29. I know this seems random, but it's going to come together in just a moment. For to you, it has been granted on behalf of Christ to not only to believe in Him, but also to suffer for Him. Some translations say it has been granted to you not only to believe in Him, but to have the privilege to suffer for Him. The honor to suffer for Him. But also to suffer for His sake, for Him, for His name's sake, for the gospel, for Him. I wish that I could stand up here and tell all of you that if you just get born again, your life's going to be fine and perfect, and you're not going to have any problems. Everything's going to be great. We all know that's not the way it is, right? We go through stuff. Sometimes we go through bad stuff. Sometimes we go through stuff that we don't see how we're going to get out of it. But we go through stuff. Sometimes we go through stuff and it seems like that stuff's going to get us and we're not going to make it out. This is the end. I've been there. Some people are going through some stuff right now that you don't think you're going to get out of. That this is the end. This is going to get you. This is the way it's going to be. I was laying in my hotel. I'm so used to always saying hotel room. I travel so much. I'm in my hospital room. I don't know, it's 11 o'clock at night. Christy's with me. Bless the Lord for a good life. Amen. Bless the Lord for a good life. My goodness. She's with me. I'm laying in bed. I got a mouthful of galls still. I'm still bleeding. Not as bad, but I'm still bleeding. IV, whole 9 yards. Well, this woman walks in. It's an older lady. And it's my nurse. She's kind of a cold person, to say the least. But if there's one way to get Christy to talk to you, is to be mean to her. If she knows you don't like her, she's going to just suffocate you with kindness. So that's what Christy begins to do. And I'm just so doped up on pain meds that it's really funny to me, and I'm just laughing at it. So Christy starts talking to this lady. Long story short, this lady's about to retire. She's been nursing for over 30 years. She's about to retire. Her husband is a pastor. Don't know what denomination, it doesn't matter. But her husband's a pastor. And so Christy tells her that I'm a pastor. We've been evangelist, and she's like, great. And I'm going, whoa. Christy's like, what? And so I'm able to mouth out good enough, tell her tell her what? Moves the cross out of her mouth just enough to say, tell her my story. Tell her my story. Christy smiles and says, okay. So Christy begins to tell her my story, an abbreviated version, but tell her how the life I used to live. All the bad stuff I did. Some of you know, the ones that don't know, you guys tell them on the way home, okay? And then told her about all my criminal charges and how God, after I surrendered, saved me from them. And did all that stuff in this lady's life. You know? And she looked at me and she said, that's so good that you've decided to change your ways. And I just smiled and shook my head no. She said, what do you mean? Again. I said, I didn't change my ways. He gave me a new heart. That guy she's telling me about literally died. Yes. I'm a new one. Hi, my name's Jeff. You've never met me before. He gave me a new heart. And I'm telling her all this stuff, and she begins to tear up. And she says, I'm about to retire in just a couple, 3 months. I'm done. She said, I've nursed for 30 years. She said, I've seen some of the most horrible things happen to people in my 30 years of nursing. But I have also seen the most awesome things happen to people. I've seen so many miracles where a person should have been dead and God miraculously healed them. She said, I've seen so many things. I want to write a book. But I've never written a book before. I'm not very good at that kind of stuff, but I just feel the Lord's put it on my heart to write a book. And she said, if He can give you a new heart after all of that, He can help me write a book. It's also been granted to us not only to trust Him, but the privilege to suffer for Him. You get it? You get it? And here's how the kingdom works. She writes this book. People read it. They get born again from reading the book. Even if it's not as they're reading the book, but it begins to stir that hunger in them that, hey, you're meant for something more. They end up going to a church, anywhere, wherever, a gospel concert, anything, and they get born again. Here's how the kingdom works. I share in that because I suffered for His name's sake, and she decided, hey, if He can give you a new heart, He can help me write a book. It's how the kingdom works. I've suffered for His name's sake. It's how the kingdom works. You guys turn to Romans. The privilege to suffer for Him. What's the privilege? What's the privilege? Now I'm going to read a scripture to you guys that religious folks like to read part of it and stop. But I'm going to read the whole thing. Okay?
Romans what?
Romans 8. You're supposed to be in my head and know this. Let's start at verse 16. How about that? Let's start at verse 16. The Spirit Himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God. And if children, so all right, are we children? If you're born again, are we children of God?
Yes.
Say yes. All right. And if we're children, then we're what? Heirs. Heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ. Now, a lot of folks like to put a period right there. Praise the Lord. We're children of God. We're heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ. Amen. Hallelujah. Let's go home. But there's more to the story. Here's the catch. See guys, you can't just take a part of something and make a doctrine. You got to take the whole thing. Because if you take just a part, you're going to be deceived. You're going to be deceived. If suffer with him. Now, a lot of folks check out on me right there. I don't want to hear about suffering. I want to hear about how we're going to be victorious. I want to hear about victory. Let me tell you something. You're not going to have victory unless you have something to be victorious over.
Amen.
If we stayed up in the mountains all the time and everything's great and wonderful, we don't know victory because we don't need it. An army doesn't get a victory unless they fight a battle. We don't get a victory unless we fight a battle.
That's right.
And I'm sorry to say, you're going to suffer. There's going to be stuff that you're going to have to go through. But what I'm talking about is a way to have the victory in the middle of the suffering.
Yes.
How do you do that? How do you do that? Romans 12:2. I've preached it for 3 months now. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, the renovating back to its original state is what that means. That you may prove what is that good, perfect, and acceptable will of the Father. And I think I mixed those words up, but you know what I'm trying to say. All right? So, it's exactly what Jesus always went out preaching. The Bible says Jesus always went out preaching, saying, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. I was talking to 2 people yesterday. They were law people. They like think we're still under the law and stuff. And I just went to go grab a set of golf clubs from them, but ended up sitting down for 2 hours talking with them. And I said, what's the word repent mean? It means to say you're sorry. It means to get on your knees and cry and feel the guilt and the shame. I said, brother, that's not what repent means. I said, you guys like to study words out in the original text. You need to go look up what repent means, brother. Repent don't mean I'm sorry. Repent simply means change the way you think. So how do you have victory in the midst of your suffering? You just change the way you think. Instead of focusing on you and how much this hurts and how much this is going to change your life, you start, instead of looking inward, you start looking outward, and you start seeing the little glory pockets, like I like to call them, and you start seeing opportunities to share your suffering with somebody else, and it brings them closer to God, to a relationship with God, and then therefore you get glorified with Him.
Yes.
Because it says, come on guys, if indeed we suffer with Him, we may be also glorified with Him. Glorified together. Together with who? With Him. As Jesus is glorified, if we suffer with Him in this life, we are glorified. Paul said, talking about the rapture and about our new resurrection bodies, he said, I don't know what it's going to be like, I just know we're going to be like Him. And that's good enough for me. He said, I don't know what it's going to be like. Whatever we will be like, we're going to be like Jesus. I just want to be like Jesus. Jesus, the Bible says, Jesus endured the shame that was before Him for the joy that was set out. He endured the shame. He endured the suffering for the joy that was set out. What joy is that? For the glory. For the glory of the Lord. We have to remember we were never created for ourselves. We were created for Him. And we were created for each other. If you want to get through your suffering, if you want the victory in your suffering, stop looking inward and start looking outward. And you'll see opportunities. You will see opportunities to help others. I'm going to skip over this scripture. Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, it's in verse 4. He says, verse 3 says, blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort. Even in the midst of a trial, the peace and the grace and the comfort can come over you if you let Him. It's we like to say we want the peace that passes all understanding. Well, you're not going to have peace that passes all understanding unless you go through some stuff you don't understand.
Amen. That's right. Amen.
you guys are hearing me this morning. This is the key to walking in victory. I put on Facebook this week, victory is not an absence of trials. If we're praying for victory and every time the trial comes through, well, I don't know why I got the victory. These trials keep coming up. You're praying for victory. How you going to get victory if the trial comes up? You got to go through something to be victorious in it. Verse 4, who comforts us in all our tribulation. It says, while we go through tribulation, right? That we may be able to comfort those who are in any trouble with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God. For as the sufferings of Christ abound in us, so our consolation also abounds through Christ. What you experience from God through your suffering, you can give out in increasing measure to others. That's a kingdom principle. You need to know that. What you experience from God in your suffering, you can give out to others in increasing measure. And remember, you're not created for yourself. You're created for others. If you were created for yourself, the moment you got born again, you got on into heaven, because what else is there? Right? You ever wondered why you're still here? Duh. Going back to Romans chapter 8, we're going to read verse 18. Man, I hate to watch this. Good grief. Romans chapter 8, verse 18. Guys, I'm so honored that I'm able to go through this trial. I wouldn't take anything for it. I'm so thankful I lost my teeth. I'm so thankful I had surgery. I'm so thankful I'm permanently numb in my mouth. I'm so thankful for it. Because if by this suffering, one person is saved from an eternity in hell, praise God, I'll do it every day.
Amen.
See, that's the fruit of the new nature. That's how you know you're saved, when you start living for others. It's the fruit of the new nature. I don't live for me anymore. I'm crucified with Christ. Go read Galatians 2:20. I'm crucified with Him. I don't live for myself anymore. I live for you. And if through my suffering I can help you, if I can encourage you. See, when you go through something, you have first-hand experience, first-hand knowledge that can help someone, that can get someone through, that can encourage them and say, I thought they were a Christian, but they're going through this, but they got a smile on their face and they're still proclaiming victory. How are they doing that? I'm wrecked and broken. I can't even function, but they're still going to work every day and doing what they have. How do I get that? Guess what? Nobody else can touch that person but you, because of your suffering, because of what you went through. Some of you folks have so struggled with addiction and you don't know why. Guess what? You're about to enter into a season of victory, and you're going to be able to touch those who have been suffering with addiction too, that no one else in this world can reach, because of your unique story that the person sitting next to you. Addiction's not addiction, man. Not addiction, not addiction. In other words, you're different from her. You're different from her. You're different. Your stories are different. And there's people that are tailor-made for you to reach that nobody else can reach. You're about to enter into a season of victory. Everyone, I'm telling you, you can have the victory through the midst of your suffering. You can have the victory through the midst of your suffering. Do you think it's a coincidence? Do you think it's a coincidence that it's my mouth? See, God didn't give me this tumor. God don't work that way.
That's right.
But just what she said when she gave her words this morning, all things work together for good. Let me tell you something. Satan tried to shut my mouth. He tried to keep me from talking. But God used it in such a way that the more Satan attacks me, the more my testimony will be done. Satan will shut my mouth. I don't care what he does. God will miraculously open it, even if he attacks it in such a way where I even lose my mouth. There's some way that I'm going to preach the gospel, because for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm going to preach it, and I'm going to preach it, and the more Satan attacks me, the harder I'm going to do it, and the more people it's going to touch, and the more people it's going to reach. He needs to leave me alone, because he's digging his own grave. Militant about this stuff. I'm militant about it because we're in a war. It's time we get militant about our faith, because we're in a war. We got an enemy over there that's militant about their faith. They chop folks' heads off.
Yes.
We need to get militant with love,
Yes.
because love conquers all.
Yes.
It conquers everything. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed within us. This is living with a kingdom mindset, living with the end in mind. Guys, if you live in the moment right now, you're going to fall. You're going to fall. Live with the end in mind. Glory. With eternity in your mind. If you live with that in mind and choose to believe these verses, you're going to have victory. It's not rocket science. It's not hard. Do you get me? Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
We're going to have stuff. We're going to have suffering. Some of it's going to be bad. Bad stuff. But it's going to be so awesome. I think the worse it is, the better it's going to be. The worse it is, the better it's going to be. Not only does it develop perseverance, patience, character in us, like James says, count it all joy when you fall into trials of various coming kinds. Some of you are going through stuff, and you've been praying, and you've been praying, Lord, get me out of this. Lord, save me from this. Lord, help me get me out of this. Deliver me from this. And God's up there trying to say, I'm not trying to get you out. I'm trying to get you in. Because I'm going to prove to you my sustaining grace. You're going to learn something about me that you didn't know before, and you're never going to know it unless you go through this trial. I'm not trying to get you out. I'm trying to get you in. If you'll just rest and relax and know that you live in the palm of my hand, it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. You're going to learn that my name is Jehovah Jireh. I am your provider, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah, it may hurt for the moment, but the sufferings of this present time is not even worthy to be compared to the glory that's going to be revealed in us. Now, a lot of times we think that's when we get to heaven. That ain't when we get to heaven. That's now. That's now. They don't say when you get to heaven, the glory that's going to be revealed in you. It's the glory that's going to be revealed in you in this life right now. Because people are attracted to God's glory. Lost people are attracted to God's glory. The glory is going to be revealed in you through your trials and sufferings. Because so the lost people can come to you and say, I want what you got because I'm going through something like that and I need what you got. It's called the gospel. It's not new. It's simple. Do we get it? We good? Suffering's going to happen. But it's not something to be afraid of. It's not something to pray for. Lord, get me through suffering. It's not, Lord, give me another trial, but it's, okay, I'm in a trial. Let's watch what happens.
It takes tons of pressure to make all of it done.
Yeah. Was laying in recovery, and my doctor, who was a Muslim, awesome guy, but such a tender heart. Wasn't like that when I first started going up there. It's been a year and a half deal. I spent 9 months with tubes in my mouth. He was pretty cold, nice guy, very businesslike when I first started going up there. But see, I've talked to him. I've shared my life with him. I've shared my eternity mindset with him. I've given him a glimpse of something that I have that a dead God named Allah can't provide him. He sees something in me that Islam can't give him. So I'm laying in recovery. And he's done his last surgery for the day. And he comes and he walks up to my bed. I hold my hand out. He grabs it and he starts tearing up and crying a little bit. And he says, I'm so sorry, Jim. I'm so sorry I had to do this to you. I'm so sorry. And I looked at him and smiled and said, it's okay, God. I still got the victory in this. You just watch and see. And he just smiles and just shakes his head at me. Completely dumbfounded. Completely dumbfounded. I don't know how you do this. I could read him like a book looking at him in his eyes. I discerned it. It's called a gift of the Spirit. I discerned it. I read him like a book. He was thinking, how can he do this? How does he have this attitude? I don't understand. I just tore him up and he's smiling, saying he's got the victory in this. You just watch and see that. How does he get that? Because see, he don't understand the grace of Jesus Christ. He don't understand the power of the blood. He don't understand faith. He don't get it. I'm not bragging on myself. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you how great I am. I'm telling you how great he is because the heart he put in me when I surrendered. There's no limit to what God can do with a surrendered life. There's no limit. It simply changed the way you think because the kingdom of heaven is in me. And if you're going to get to know me, if you're going to converse with me, you better start changing the way you think or you're going to walk away confused. That's a crazy man right there, yes sir. I certainly am. You need to change the way you think and get crazy too. And if you stay with me long enough, guess what? You're going to change the way you think. It's just going to happen. We good? We understand? Suffering's not something to be shunned, to be run away from. Quite honestly, it's something to be embraced. Jesus did it. Jesus did it. He suffered for us in a way that we can't comprehend. We don't get it. We can't. We're not supposed to. It's okay. Only Jesus could have done what he did. Nobody else could. But he suffered for us. His motive was love. I'm suffering for him. My motive is love. For him, for you, and for all those folks out there. If you want a purpose to your suffering, you're going to have suffering. Some of you are suffering right now. If you want to have suffering, if you want to have a purpose for your suffering, you just turn that thing around. Just turn it around. And make your motive out of love. I love. What's that a picture of? A cross. It's the center of love.